Have you ever wondered if the love you feel is truly from God or just from your own desires? Your heart may long for answers, and your spirit may search for clarity, but deep within you know God has a way of showing you who He has chosen. The question is, are you paying attention to the signs He is already placing in your path? Love guided by God feels different because it carries peace instead of confusion. It will not leave you restless or questioning your worth, but instead strengthens your faith and your purpose. Your soulmate will not only connect with your heart, but will also bring you closer to the life God has planned for you. When God is at work, the connection aligns with His timing and His truth. It may not happen the way you imagined, but it will unfold in a way that proves His hand is shaping your story. Every detail becomes a reminder that your soulmate is not a random encounter, but a part of God's plan for your life. 1. They respect your boundaries. Or, do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own? For you were bought at a price, therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. When someone respects your boundaries, it reveals a level of maturity that only God can place in their heart. You notice that they do not push you past limits or try to break what you've prayed to protect. Instead, they listen and take your boundaries seriously, treating them as sacred. You never feel guilty for holding to your standards because they value them too. God often confirms your soulmate through the way they honor what you've set before Him. Their patience and understanding show that they are not with you just for selfish reasons. It becomes clear that love is not rushed, pressured, or forced when God is at the center. You begin to feel peace because their respect reflects God's love and not worldly desire. Boundaries are more than rules. They are signs of self-respect, healing, and spiritual growth. When someone honors them, they are showing you that they honor God in you. This allows the relationship to be built on trust instead of manipulation. You see that their actions prove their words, and you feel safe with them. Godly love does not tear down, it builds and strengthens. You realize you do not have to keep explaining or defending your boundaries. They simply accept them, which is a spiritual sign of alignment. Love that pushes past your limits is not from God, but love that guards them is. When someone respects your heart, they are really respecting God's work in your life. This is one of the clearest ways God shows you that the person before you could be your soulmate. Their respect points you back to Him, and in that, your love becomes holy. 2. You feel safe opening up. I sought the Lord, and He heard me and delivered me from all my fears. Safety in love is not just about protection from the outside world. It is about emotional and spiritual security. When you feel safe opening up, you know God's Spirit is creating a space of honesty. You begin to share things you once kept locked away, and you do not fear judgment. They listen with patience, not criticism, and you feel understood. Your past is no longer a source of shame, but a testimony of how far God has brought you. This kind of safety cannot be faked. It is born out of love that is pure. You realize you are not walking on eggshells or hiding your true self. Instead, you are free to speak your truth without fear of rejection. God often shows your soulmate by giving you this rare gift of emotional security. It feels different because you sense His presence even in your conversations. When you share your struggles, they do not look down on you. They help carry the weight. When you share your dreams, they do not dismiss them. They support them. This safety allows your heart to breathe in ways it never could before. You begin to recognize that real love heals instead of hurting. It shows you that God has placed someone in your life to build, not to break. You notice that secrets lose their power because light enters the space. This is a sign that God's covering is over your connection. When you feel safe opening up, you are experiencing a love that mirrors Christ's acceptance. And that kind of love is a strong indication that you are standing in front of your soulmate. 3. You can handle conflict without hate, bearing with one another and forgiving one another if anyone has a complaint against another. Even as Christ forgave you, so you also must do. Every relationship faces conflict, but how you deal with it says everything about the strength of the bond. When God is part of your love, arguments do not turn into battles that destroy trust. You may disagree, but you do not tear each other apart with harsh words. Instead, you work through the issue with patience and respect. You realize that forgiveness comes easier because your love is not built on pride. God teaches you to release anger quickly and not let bitterness take root. You notice that the connection always leads back to peace instead of division. Even in tough moments, there is a calmness that reminds you of God's presence. The willingness to say sorry and to make things right shows maturity. It is not about who wins the argument, it is about protecting the relationship. That level of care is a spiritual sign that God has joined you together. You feel secure knowing that disagreements do not mean the end of love. This teaches you that real love does not give up when things get difficult. Instead, it grows stronger through patience and grace. God shows you your soulmate by giving you someone who values peace more than being right. You both learn to handle conflict without creating permanent wounds. This is proof that love covered by God knows how to endure. When you can fight fair and still feel safe, you are seeing the hand of God at work. And that kind of love lasts because it is rooted in forgiveness. 4. They apologize and make things right. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. A clear sign that God is showing you your soulmate is their ability to humble themselves and apologize. They do not let pride or stubbornness block peace in the relationship. You notice they value unity more than proving a point. When mistakes are made, they take responsibility and work to fix the hurt. This humility is not weakness, it is strength that comes from God. It reveals a heart that seeks peace and not division. You feel respected because your feelings are not dismissed or ignored. Instead, they listen and show through action that they care about your heart. Godly love does not excuse harmful behavior, it corrects it. When someone makes things right, they are showing you God's example of restoration. You begin to trust that the relationship is safe, even when things go wrong. This kind of love builds a strong foundation for the future. It proves that peace will always be the goal, not silent punishment. You notice that they choose reconciliation instead of distance. God shows you through their actions that real love heals what is broken. An apology may seem small, but it is proof of a softened heart. This shows you that they are more concerned with the relationship than their ego. When apologies and solutions are present, it is a strong spiritual sign. It means God is shaping both of you for lasting love. And it reminds you that your soulmate will fight for peace, not for separation. 5. They protect your heart from harm. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. Another clear sign God shows you is the way someone protects your heart. They are careful with their words, knowing how deeply they can affect you. They do not play with your emotions or take your trust for granted. Instead, they handle your heart as something valuable and fragile. This is not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. You notice they make choices that guard your peace instead of disturbing it. God reveals your soulmate by giving you someone who shields your spirit from unnecessary pain. They do not expose you to toxic behavior or unhealthy situations. Instead, they provide security and reassurance that your heart matters. This is a love that understands how important it is to protect trust. You realize you can rest emotionally because they will not betray you. Your heart feels safer than it ever has before. Godly love does not create constant fear, it creates confidence. This protection allows the relationship to grow without walls of doubt. It also teaches you how to protect their heart in return. You both learn the value of being gentle with each other. That kind of mutual care is a strong sign of God's presence. When your heart is kept safe, you know it is love worth building on. And that kind of safety is one of the biggest signs God is revealing your soulmate. 6. They are consistent with their actions. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much, and he who is unjust in what is least is unjust also in much. Consistency is one of the strongest signs that God is showing you your soulmate. They do not just say the right words, they live them out daily. You notice their actions match what they promise. This steady behavior builds trust that grows stronger with time. There are no mixed signals or constant disappointments. Instead, there is a pattern of reliability and care. God often reveals your soulmate by showing you someone who is faithful in the small things. This faithfulness shows up in the way they treat you, even when no one else is watching. You begin to see that love is not just spoken, but proven. Their consistency reminds you that God is a God of order and stability. You realize you no longer live in uncertainty or confusion. This gives your heart rest, because love should not feel unstable. They show up in the good days and the bad ones. They are the same person in private that they are in public. This level of consistency is rare, and it is a spiritual sign. God is showing you that love is built on reliability, not empty promises. Their actions prove they are trustworthy with your heart. And that kind of steady love is a clear sign of God's hand. 7. Your relationship glorifies God. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. The strongest sign God shows you is when your relationship brings him glory. It is not just about the love between the two of you, it is about how others see God through it. Your love becomes an example of his faithfulness and grace. People notice the way you treat each other, and it inspires them. This is a love that shines light, not darkness. You realize the relationship points both of you closer to God. Prayer becomes a natural part of your connection. Faith grows stronger because you are united in purpose. This is not just romance, it is ministry through love. God shows you that your soulmate will never pull you away from him. Instead, they will push you deeper into your walk with him. You notice that peace, kindness, and joy flow out of the relationship. Your connection becomes a reflection of Christ's love. Others see God's hand because of the way you love each other. This is the ultimate confirmation that God has joined you together. A soulmate sent by God will help you honor him daily. Your love will not just satisfy emotions, it will glorify the Creator, and that is the clearest spiritual sign of all. When God is lifted higher through your love, you know you have found the one he chose. If the content inspired you, please like, comment, and subscribe to Pure Inspirational. Be blessed.